Rules of the day. The car gets immobilized, starts shooting, nobody gets traded, everybody dies. Same as every day? You got it. Ed Hoffman is the head of the division, but he does not know shit until he steals it from the guy on the ground, and that's me.
This movie has intense action sequences, intricate and involved storyline. It's an adrenaline rush.
I think it's time to show people what it really takes in terms of deception to operate an organization like the CIA.
How do you expect me to operate, huh, Ed? What are you keeping all the cards to your chest?
It's an exciting journey. It's all coming at you.
What do you do exactly?
You read a script and you have a certain projection for what you think the film is going to be like, but until you get on set and actually act it out and are there and it's visceral, you don't really get the sense of what the movie is. Roger Ferris is a CIA operative on the ground in the Middle East.
You and I, we're going to that safe house, you understand? Right now.
He's a functionary, he lives, he's integrated, he even looks like them. And he walks the walk and talks the talk.
He really is Ed Hoffman's best field agent because he's immersed himself in this culture. He knows the language. He's very well versed in weapons training and hand-to-hand combat. So he's a highly effective, highly intelligent field officer in that regard. I suppose you could characterize him as an idealistic young agent that feels like it's a huge value to have a relationship with intelligence in the Middle East.
We have valuable intel in our possession. We're in a black Nissan with all you people.
Oops.
Ed's the head of one of those little black box departments that tend to function on their own.
How the hell do you expect me to run an operation when you're running a side operation?
I'm just trying to back you up, buddy. It's a dangerous, dangerous world out there, you know?
He comes across as a very self-assured, pompous, egomaniacal character.
You know, 10 years ago, I could have beat the crap out of you.
You should have taken the shot when you had the chance.
Buddy, you're home. You know, they say that you should never drink red wine in the desert.
That's what I did in the Babylonians, right?
Well, a couple of bottles of that and we'll be speaking Babylonian.
He has complete and utter disregard for not just the people that he's trying to capture, but the people that he has relationships with.
I'm telling you, they will kill him within a few days, Ed.
Just cut him loose and put him back on the street. Leo's character becomes confused as to the intentions and motivations of his boss.
I can't do this anymore.
Call me when you're thinking straight.
I am thinking straight. You're not, all right? You can't because you're a million miles away.
And that's the dilemma my character is constantly faced with. He doesn't like the way that Ed Hoffman's dealing in the Middle East.
Hey there, little buddy.
Zooming in.
Hang up the phone. Are you on the line?
Yep.
Listen, you are attracting attention. Now, I will handle this on my own.
Ed, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Saving civilization, honey.
And once he's on the street, Ferris knows he's on his own, because how can that person who's a million miles away know possibly what's going on next?
Listen, I made a decision, Ed. I'm bringing him in.
Oh, come on. No.
When they find him, they're going to torture him and they're going to kill him.
You got to decide which side of the cross you're on. I need nailers, not hangers.
Ferris then starts to work with Hani Salam, who's the head of Jordanian intelligence, and devising plots to capture some of the heads of these networks.
You'll be going to Oman. You're working with a guy named Hani Salam.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hani is the head of the Jordanian Secret Service, the Mukhabarat. He's very charming, very elegant, but not anybody you'd mess with.
I have one rule, my dear. Never lie to me.
He's very open with Ferris, and I think takes quite a liking to him.
We are partners. Allies, no?
Think about that Hani. He's bright. He's also arrogant. It's going to be his undoing.
You're talking about him, right?
So Ferris starts to develop this relationship with Hani's character, and he takes that very seriously, and he knows that a lot can come of it.
Hani does not trust you. You want me to run Amman? Let me run Amman.
Nobody knows where the next bomb is going off. What we need to do, with or without the cooperation of Hani, is get our own man inside the tent.
He's gonna blow this whole goddamn operation.
Hold image.
Image lock.
My character is sort of sandwiched in between his loyalty to the Central Intelligence Agency and the promises that he made to the Middle East Division. So it becomes very complicated.
Now, we develop these assets to use them as needed, and I have a need.
No.
Now, I'm just going to get all frustrated here. I would hate to have my president call your king, because that's just going to be embarrassing.
In matters of intelligence, Edward, you are speaking to the king.
Well, Your Highness, I want control.
You can't have it.
It's an ever-shifting loyalty, and Ferris tries to do the right thing.
We're here to protect you.
You can't even protect yourselves.
It was interesting working with Ridley Scott and Russell Crowe together because I've done so many films together, and I was basically this new guy coming into the scenario.
When Ridley called me, he said, how do you feel about putting on 50 pounds? And I said, not that good.
He said, of course. He said, I can eat and drink as much as I can. No exercise, fantastic.
You're a fat piece of shit. You know that, Ed? We do this shit for a living. Go on a goddamn diet, for Christ's sake.
Are you quite finished?
I've worked with Russell Crowe now 3 times. He's a real actor. He loves to change his persona and change his universe. That's what makes him interesting.
No, you can't. You'll be oppressing me, man.
I like working with Ridley. We share a work ethic, an aesthetic, and a sense of humor. And if you got those 3 things together, then being on a set together is easy.
Like nice white tight T-shirt, also closer.
He's got great ideas constantly about the film, about the character, about the way things should be.
Leo's the same thing. Leo is so on it and so professional.
Excellent.
Last time I worked with Leo, he was a 17-year-old kid who had an immense amount of very obvious talent and no limitations on that, you know.
Leo's one of the hardest working actors I've ever seen. He comes in incredibly prepared, absolutely focused, has had the character in his mind the entire way. We're not privy to see that until he steps in front of the camera.
All Honey wanted was patience, Ed.
Patience, not as a personal quality, but as an operational requirement. You can't do it, huh?
You know, I've done a few action films of this caliber, but I say Ridley's certainly the most efficient at this that I've ever seen.
Okay, here we go.
Ridley has visualized and worked out the entire movie in his head. When he gets to the set,